Good morning, sports fans. This is George with Custom Tide Flies and Guide Service. And we're going to do a tutorial on Custom Tide's P&P Nymph. This is Tide, and I make these in a size 12 to 16. The ingredients. The hook, I'm using Montana Fly Company 7203 is a standard shank 60-degree jig hook. The weight is copper slotted tungsten bead to fit the chosen hook, and then I put 6 wraps of 0.02 lead wire in behind the head, and I'll show you that in a minute. The thread is Danville Fly Master in flame orange. Then the tail is pheasant tail fibers. The body is pheasant tail fibers. The rib is copper wire. The collar is Peacock herl, and the wing is Mallard flanks. So when I build these in sections, pieces. I don't tie the whole thing at once. So for the inside, I'm using Danville Fly Master 140 denier. There's my 0.02 lead wire. I get this from Hairline. So 6 wraps. And I push that in real tight behind the bead. Get tied in. Run your thread all the way to the back and bring it forward. You want to make sure that leading edge of the wire is tucked down all the way. Then 3 pheasant tail fibers. A little less than a shank length. Just a hair less than. You don't want a really long tail, because the tail filaments on the nymph are relatively shorter than the length of the body. And I'm going to paint that with head cement all the way around. And then let that sit off to dry. If you have a little extra, you don't really want it dripping, so you want to kind of try to wipe that a little bit of extra off. So it'll soak in there and get real nice and glued to the shank. And set that off to the side. And once it's done setting up, and you switch over to the 70 denier, tie it in behind where the lead wire stopped. Get your copper wire, start it on top of the shank right behind the bead, and then pull it way over to the side, because you're going to wrap this wire back towards you. Let me just set that off for now. Then you're going to get 5 pheasant tail fibers. You want as long as you can get. Tie them in by the tips. You want to try to keep them as flat as possible so that you make sure that you get as much body covered as you can. Now one of them broke. That happens. That doesn't mean you have to tear the whole fly apart. Just keep going with what you got. If you don't make it all the way to the bead, that's okay. You can just tie in another one. See, I didn't make it all the way to the bead. Now one of them broke on me already. Now this time I'm gonna you can do it with 3, but you don't want to try to do it with 2. Now I'm not putting hackle pliers on these. I'm just gonna hold the fibers down with my finger. There we go. Oh, there goes my hackle pliers. Now you're going to put a 1/2 hitch, 2 1/2 hitches in here right behind the bead. Bring that wire up, wrapping it towards yourself. There we go. And then just helicopter that off. Next up is your collar. It says Peacock herl. You take one strand of Peacock herl and you just fold it over the thread. Now your mallard flanks. I get my mallard flanks from Cascade Crest. I also get my mallard flanks directly from mallard ducks when I find one along the road or something. Get you a little clump. Doesn't have to be a lot of fibers, but you know, you need more than one or two. This is the wing buds. They should fold back and be about as long as the shank. Placement of these is kind of important. You want them to go on top of the shank, but not roll under. And you got to get the right length to match up with the other side. There we go. Now they're using the flame orange thread so that you can get an orange hot spot right behind the head. I'm going to do a wet whip with UV resin. Five or six turns will do it. Hit that with the light. And remember, they don't have to be perfect. Imperfect flies get eaten. Perfect flies get admired as it goes past the fish. So this has been George with Custom Tied Flies and Guide Service, tying the custom tied P&P Nymph. Please like and subscribe to this YouTube channel. There are other tutorials on this YouTube channel and also on my website, along with a bunch of other information. The website is www.custom-tied.com. That's CUSTOM tied.com. Have a splash. Don't forget the dash. Happy tying.